which means this is our last match against Portland for the Challenge Cup. And we won our last one?
No.
Yeah? No, we
Against
didn't.
Portland? No. That's the game
Oh.
Bella scored on us.
Rewind. I was hopeful.
Presented by Cedar Sinai. Shifty work into the box. And across, it's in! Oh, it's LaRue! It's a dream return!
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Casual FC, an Angel City preview pod. We're back with Angel City. I'm your host, Angela Morales. And this is my guy, Mario Salazar.
What up? So we're back from doing our World Cup coverage for a little bit.
Now.
We're gonna be
juggling
both. We're gonna be juggling some Challenge Cup stuff for a little bit. We might get into some regular season. I'd have to look at the schedule again.
I know I'm juggling World Cup schedule, Angel City schedule, my own, like what time do I go to work schedule, even though it's the same every day. Like I don't know what time it is. I barely know what day it is anymore.
Yes, I think World Cup screws up with everybody in a way where you don't even know what day it is.
No.
We know someone. We have a friend, Teresa, who I just came to find out today as we were talking, has watched every single World Cup match live.
What?
This Iron Woman here,
so many props. So many props.
I was like, if you keep this going, I'm gonna make you something, and I'm gonna make you a little plaque or something.
That's amazing.
So wow. Teresa, here's to you. That's amazing.
You're a champ. Thank you for doing that for all of us. I've watched the majority of games on replay. I have been burning the candle at both ends and in the middle, and it's caught up with me. So there's been a lot of sleep happening over the last week. So I've been catching games when I can. Like we are currently recording at the end of the Colombia-South Korea game. No, but before
New Zealand
and Philippines. I think.
So yes,
we're doing what we can.
But we are back because
we have a
Angel
Challenge
City
Cup
and the
game.
NWSL they gotta do what they gotta do. Challenge Cup is still going on.
Yep.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So on the last episode of Angel City FC Challenge Cup Edition, we played the San Diego Wave at BMO. So at home for us, where we won 2-1 in the most beautiful fashion. Oh my God. That game, the stadium was rocking.
It was such a needed win. And the way we record these pods, we don't get to talk about it till now.
No.
And so we've both been like itching to be like, oh my God, we won.
Yeah, we were texting each other in the stadium, just screaming. I'm screaming, high-fiving all the people in my section. Like my mom's jumping up and down. Like all of us are just hooting and hollering. And I'm texting Mario downstairs. Oh my God. Yeah. Good times.
So I had my kids there, and like my daughter was like screaming her head off. I don't think she absolutely knew what was happening, but she knew
doesn't
that we
matter.
scored.
She knew.
So it doesn't matter. The place was just hype, and she was going along for the ride, and it was just great. And it was a very, very much needed win. We're going to get to it in a second, but at the beginning, we were like, hey, there's almost basically no chance whatsoever.
Yeah, we had a whole thing about me saying, you know what, I think we should just say, screw the Challenge Cup, use these as friendlies, like, just play around with the lineups, do things that, like, maybe it won't make sense during the regular season, so we do them now to, like, regroup. And now I'm just like, we're gonna win everything. It's completely flipped on its head. Because after the last game, we went from 4th place to 2nd. And then
For a
for
little
like a
bit.
hot minute, for 2 weeks, yeah. But to give you a quick recap of the last game, we won 2-1. We obviously scored twice. Madison Hammond had her first NWSL goal. So it's the first goal by an Indigenous player, first goal for Madison, first, like,
Also,
just fastest
wasn't it
goal in
like the
Challenge Cup
fastest goal?
history.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was one of those where she set a precedent and set a record 2 minutes
It
into the
was
freaking game.
it was officially clocked at 2 minutes, right? Because whenever
Yeah.
they do any stats, they just round it to the minute. But this was at like 1 minute and like 45 seconds or
45.
something like
Yeah,
that.
it was stupid fast. And I think that's what really shot the energy into everybody's veins was, oh, we're going to play like this now? Okay. And then 15 minutes later in the 18th minute, Clarice Lebiant comes in, hits a banger, and it was like, oh, all right, cool.
All right.
I don't
Then
know who this
that's how
team is anymore, but I love it.
I'm all here for it. And then against San Diego and
Yeah.
having that kind of comeback. You know what I think it was, really? And I think I texted it to you too. Becky totally heard the episode. We talked about
Oh, no.
we talked about playing, we talked about being loose, having fun, experiment. You got nothing to lose, and that's kind of what we did, and it just rocked the house. So,
It did.
Becky, thank you for listening, and we'll try to keep up the good notes.
For San Diego's effort, Danielle Colaprico shot, like, just freaking kicked a rocket of a goal in the 63rd minute that, like, shook the stadium. It was one of those where everybody just kind of went, oh, okay. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am. Like, okay.
It took the wind a little out of the sails, but,
We held on.
being like in the middle of that second half, but we held on. We got the win. Everybody went crazy. It's just good stuff.
Definitely. It was crazy. They played their, like, 15-year-old, and Cap did a fantastic job defending her. It was a great match overall. Alrighty. So how is the Challenge Cup looking? What are the standings? How crazy is everything? Do tell.
So things have been shifting around. Like we mentioned after this win, one of the exciting things in like texting each other, and when I set up the script outline for this episode, was we're in 2nd place. And then there was a match that the Oil Rain and Portland had recently, that because they had an extra game in hand. They recently had it, and now everybody's even at 4 matches played, and we are in 3rd, which is, granted, better than I thought we were going to be.
And like in 3rd solidly, not like by accident.
Not tied. Yeah,
we're
not tied,
for
not
3rd.
by accident.
Yeah, we're definitely holding strong.
We're currently in 3rd, so in the West, really, and that's the only one we need to worry about at the moment. We've got the OL Reign in 1st place with 10 points. Portland Thorns, who we're playing next, with 6. Us in 3rd with 4 points. And then the Wave in 4th with 3 points. Now, we're recording this on the 24th. There is a match the day before this match on the 28th, and it will be All Rain with San Diego. So, things could change a little, but the result of that match almost doesn't matter if you follow me down this rabbit hole. All right, get ready, buckle in. I'm gonna go a little like Charlie Day, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, murder board, yarn everywhere. Let's look at all the permutations of what's gonna happen. So, winning the West, not gonna happen. Just straight out, mathematically, the chances. Okay. I will say, it is possible, but the chances are super, 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 super tiny. In order for us to move on, the All Rain have to lose both matches that they have left, and we have to win both matches that we have left. And we also have to get a better goal differential, because if they lose, we win, we're tied at 10 points. Now we need to have a better goal differential to actually get that first place. So they're currently at 6 points plus, which means they have scored 6 in the 4 matches that they've played, and they've also not allowed any score against them in those 4 matches, which is amazing. It's insane. We're at a -2. So we've scored 4, but we've been scored against 6. So hence the -2.
Yeah.
So we would need to win our 2 matches and surpass that +6 goal differential that they have to win it outright. Like I said, really, really, really tiny. Slim chance of winning. It could happen.
But
it's not happening.
Project it happening.
Okay, so let's look at the wild card. As when we did our little preview of what the Challenge Cup is, there's the East, the West, and the Central divisions, right? 4 teams in each one. That's all 12 teams in the league. Top team in each one, so first place in each single one, will move on to the knockout round. And then the top finishing second place out of all 3 will move on. And then the knockout tournament basically is like a semifinal. There's 2 matches and then there's a final. Let's talk about our chances for that wild card. Now, if we win our next match, we jump up to second place with 7 points. And if we win against San Diego, which is going to be our final Challenge Cup match. I know it feels like we're playing San Diego like every other weekend now, but it's just the way the scheduling worked out. We will end up with those 10 points that I was talking about, tying the OL Reign, but we will be in second place. Now, we have to look at, this is where I went deep dive and I started looking at the other possibilities for the other groups. Gotham FC has 3 matches left, where we have 2 matches left. So in the East, they must lose at least 2 of those 3.
Oh, dang.
And we have to have a better goal differential. So if they win 1 out of the 3, we'll be tied with them at 10 points. But then again, it comes down to that goal differential. So let's see if Gotham loses all of them. Who knows? So not only that would only knock out or rule out of contention Gotham. Then we have in the Central, we have Kansas City, who's currently in second. Unfortunately for them, they're at 9 points, I believe. So they just can't win anything. The last 2 matches that they have to lose, both matches. Now, the only saving grace that we have on all of this is that because these last couple matches happened during this World Cup break, where all your
heavy hitters,
all your heavy hitters. I'm not going to say your best players, because you have good players on your teams no matter what, but your heavy hitters that have been called up to their national teams, they're all going to be gone. So we're all playing with a reduced deck here. So you never know. So it's a really, really, really long shot. I might have to add another really long shot. But all that to say, it is possible. But Becky, have fun with it. Just keep going with the experimentation. Those are so far-fetched scenarios where all the chips need to fall in the correct place that, you know what? Play to your heart's content. If you end up winning and you don't quite make it because someone else also wins, you know what? You did amazing. You're doing amazing so far. Let's just keep it going.
Yeah, I completely agree. As cool as it would be to place and move on in the challenge right now, just go have fun. Like, I think the stress the team has been under over the last couple seasons, injury-wise, people-wise, like transitions and weird things that have happened, it's easy to lose sight of why you're there in the first place. And it's like, right now, I'm just like, go have fun. Go play like it's club soccer and it's like a weekend tournament with all your best friends. And just go ball out. Who cares? Leave it all out there. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for a home game.
These should be the orange slice matches. These should be
absolutely. Your taco
Like,
boats and donuts after the game, Capri Suns, orange slices, all that good stuff.
if this is the match you want to try the panenka or whatever
Yeah.
it may be, go for it.
Are
Have
are
fun
we
with it.
practicing Olympicos on a corner kick? I don't know. You know, it'd be cool if we did. Also, shout out to my nephew, whose team won their championship this weekend down in San Diego, who had an Olympico. Like, it's just dope.
See,
And I'm
it's
just
just
like,
dope. Those are
yes, yeah, just do
and
it.
for the two terms that we just used, just in case you don't know or you need the refresher. The Olympico is when someone takes a corner kick and all by themselves they've kicked it in a way where it just curves on its own volition and gets into the goal without anybody else touching it. Boom, done. Like, super easy. Why doesn't everybody do that?
Because it's
and
so
then
hard.
and then the panenka is in a penalty kick. It's when, usually players try to like power through that thing, kick it as hard as they can, pick a corner and just go for it. A panenka is the fake out. It's running up to the ball, getting the keeper to dive one way or another, and then just softly kicking it and chipping it over. I equate that to, do you remember the movie Rookie of the Year?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
when he can't beat anybody because his arm when it magically healed and it had this like slingshot action, and then he loses it on the big game. No spoilers, right? Or spoiler alert, really.
I mean, honestly, that movie's like 30 years old if you haven't seen it. That's not my fault. Says the girl who's seen like a total of 45 movies in her whole life. If Rookie of the Year gets spoiled for you, just go watch it. That just
And
is
then,
a sign.
he just looks at his mom and he's like, "Oh yeah, the little softball like backhanded
little
toss. And that's gonna win. That's gonna beat the big muscly steroid man that's on the base trying to hit the ball."
Yeah.
So yes, it's the chip over the goalie, like very softly kicked, but you've already made the goalie dive one way or another. It's kind of a really risky.
They had to play their hand and then.
Exactly.
And
It's
then
a
you
very
react to
risky
it.
move.
Yes.
It's one of those super high risk, high reward. If you make it, it's like half insulting, but also half, okay, you got me. Yeah, I'll give it to you. You got me.
It's like a burn. It's like, oh,
yeah.
Dang it.
But then when you miss,
Yep.
it's just even worse because it's like, why did you even do that?
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. So with that, like I mentioned in my crazy rant that I just went through, our next match in this Challenge Cup is going to be against the Portland Thorns. And the great thing is that it's going to be another home game at BMO Stadium.
It's a 20-hour of soccer day. It is.
Yes.
It is a big deal. Angel City is doing stuff for it. You can go watch games at the stadium starting at what, 12:30 that morning?
Yes. Actually, hold on.
Yeah, we'll post about it too. But there's 3 World Cup games at like 12:33. I don't know. I'm making this up now, but I know the first one's at 12:30. And it's just like they're giving away medals for people who come and stay for all 3 games and then come to the game tonight. Like,
so I just pulled it up.
It's so dope.
So
and
I just
I'm such
pulled
a
it up.
weenie and I can't do it.
Go to angelcity.com/community/events/the-ultra. We'll repost it, retweet it, rethread it, do whatever we need to. But yes, we play the Portland Thorns on Saturday the 29th. It's actually our last Saturday game for the entire season, which
Really? I didn't even
kind
know
of a
that.
bummer. Yeah, it is. All the other games from here on out are definitely going to be Sundays.
Noted.
So
I'm just taking
Saturday,
it day by day. If you haven't figured it out right now, I'll figure that out later.
So Saturday matches are the ones that can that start later. So the match is going to be at 7 p.m. for this Portland Thorns match. Most Sunday games start at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But yes, if you go to that link that we just said, Angel City has been hosting watch parties for the World Cup. We've been reposting them. We've been hyping them up. We've tried to go to a couple. One of them was full, and Angela couldn't even make it in. There was
We
a
were
watch
in,
party
but we
plus a
were
wedding.
out. Yeah, at one of the breweries, there was a wedding going on at the same time as the game. And then breed trucks were like overwhelmed because I don't think they were let on to know that they could get this many people. It was just a lot. And the nice thing was that my aunts live like 10 minutes down the road. So my girlfriend and I
You had somewhere to go.
Yeah, we had somewhere to go because we would try to get to different screens because they had 4 or 5 different screens at this one brewery. Everywhere we tried to move, someone would stand in the middle of the screen, like in the middle of the TV. At one of them, one woman was like 3 feet back, and we were both like, that's when we were like, I can't do this anymore. So we just went over to my aunt's house, and I ordered food for us, and I was like, enjoy the game. We were explaining soccer to them, and it was fun.
So yes, they have what they're calling the Ultra, 4 matches in one day. So Saturday, July 29th, 12:30 a.m. will be the Sweden versus Italy. Then at 3 a.m. will be France versus Brazil. At 5:30 a.m. At 5:30 a.m. we have Panama versus Jamaica. And then you've got the rest of the day for you to rest. And at 7 p.m. will be the home match at BMO Stadium. But of course, 7 p.m. means you're going to have to get there earlier. So you're probably going to be there by 5, whatever it may be. So go to the website. We're going to post it up tonight. We're going to post it up when the episode goes live. You have to RSVP. We don't know where the watch party is. It's somewhere in West LA. You'll get the address once you actually get approved for the RSVP. The deadline is going to be Thursday on the 27th to sign up. And like Angela said, there's going to be a medal. It's like you ran a marathon or something.
Honestly, though, it's called Ultra.
So I run half marathons mostly, and I literally only do it for the medal. I look at what the medal design is, and I'm like, that's dope. I'm gonna run this one.
Yep.
So I'm jealous. I don't have the energy or the time to do something like this, but I would definitely. Mario 10 years ago would definitely do this.
Angela 10 years ago would be like, first person to sign up, see you there. If you're not going to be there, we're not friends anymore. Like, full on, so hardcore about it. But now Angela is like, maybe I should just take a nap and I'll watch the replay of this when I can use my brain.
So yes, this will be part of that ultra, that crazy day of 20 plus hours of soccer. But let's get into the game. Let's get into what we're looking forward to here. If you're still awake by the point of going to this game after watching all the World Cup stuff, what are we looking out for?
First of all, I just want to bring to light that between these two teams, there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, almost 10 players who are notably missing because they are half a world away. We've talked about it a million times. June, Allie, Julie Earth, Alyssa Thompson, all of our Angels overseas, Vanessa Gilles, Swaby, like they're off gallivanting in Australia and New Zealand. For Portland, a lot of these names are going to sound real familiar if you've listened to our World Cup episodes. Sophia Smith, Crystal Dunst, Kristen Sinclair, Rocky Rodriguez, Hina Seguida, all of them are overseas right now. So a huge chunk of both teams' starting lineups are.
I will say a bigger chunk. Yeah, a bigger chunk of Portland is gone. Yes. So
very true. Very, very
that
true.
plays in our favor.
Always. So for Angel City, in general, I mean, a little bit with Portland too, but especially for Angel City, I'm really curious about our roster updates and injuries that occurred right before the break. If you didn't see, Sid is dealing with broken rib. And after that last home win, she just booked it to the locker room after being down on the field for a while. I'm guessing that's what happened. But I hate it. And I think she does too. I will say too, she skewered someone on the end which was the best thing I have seen. In the comments to her Instagram post, some dude, some internet man, like trademarked internet man, like a Florida man, like that, commented something like, "Oh, you're injury prone. You need to hang it up." Blah blah. She was like, "Well, you're bald. Maybe you shouldn't have a head," or something like that. It was just like, dang, like, sir, she got bodied into the ground. That doesn't necessarily make you injury prone. It means somebody's body collided with yours, and then a bone was broken. Is it great? No. I hope she's healing well. I hope she's doing okay. It just sucks. M.A. Vignola, I'm really hoping is on the mend. There hasn't been a lot of like updates out of training, just nice pictures
Yeah.
on Instagram. Dean Henry is with the team. I know we mentioned that she's not with the French team and didn't make the World Cup. She made the World Cup roster, but then had to
Had to bow
leave
out
training.
because of a
Yeah, because of the results of an MRI. So
yes.
that's
I
one of
want to say it was
those.
the quad, but it
Yeah,
was
like
basically it was not a serious enough injury to call it a season, but it was a serious enough injury where the
if you're
intensity
playing like 30 games in 2 weeks.
exactly the
Yeah,
intensity of the World Cup was, and honestly, everything I was reading leading up to our pods, where she is one of their kind of headliners. She's one of their heavy hitters, and so
yeah,
it's not like they would have taken her to be like, oh yeah, play whenever you want. It's like, no, we absolutely need you, or we're gonna have to get someone else in your spot that can help out as much as you will. So,
exactly. And that was the case. So I'm hoping everything's going well here with training and people getting healthy. Simone Charlie is back in 2 shoes, which as someone
which
who's
is exciting.
recovered from an ankle surgery, the first day of having on 2 shoes is the best feeling in the whole wide world. It feels real weird, but it's the best. Like, I cried a good long time when I got 2 shoes back on. So I know that recovery for an Achilles injury is bonkers. Reconstructive ankle surgery is no joke, I'll tell you that much. But yeah. So I'm curious to see who will be on our roster and who's available and all of that come Saturday. The team is known for not putting out our starting lineup until like 14 seconds before they're announced in the
Yeah.
stadium. So I have no idea what we'll see the next weekend, but okay. My other big like talking point is, will the tremendous Tweed unbeaten streak remain? As of right now, our interim coach, Becky, has not lost a match. We have either had a draw or won a game. I love
And
it
you know what? That's a
because
result. That's a point.
all of those
Well, that's
result in points.
they all
Exactly.
gave us points, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
So unbeaten streaks, I'm down for. I am very much team Becky. A lot of the comments coming out of post-game pressers or things or interviews have led to the feeling that the players are saying a lot without saying a lot, in that sense where it seems like the locker room was lost way before I even thought it was. So I think they're all really happy to be training at the level they're training at. I think it was, I have no idea. I don't remember who said this at all. Maybe Paige or no, it was Savan McCaskill who said that they had been training harder in the last month than they had in a long time. And it was definitely like they were getting results from what they were doing. Like they're having way more fun and working 10 times as hard. And it was showing and everybody was pumped about it. So I'm down if they're down. Like Team Becky, let's go.
Like we've mentioned before, if Angel City ends up somewhere around the same finishing that we got last year.
Yep.
Not, barring the Challenge Cup, which is like a half, like it's there, but half the people are paying attention. But in the regular season, if we land somewhere we did last year, given the context of how bad the beginning of the season was, what Becky inherited, and how she turned it around to get us in that, I believe, what was it, eighth place?
Yeah.
So if we're like up around eighth place, I'm pretty sure it's just, look, maybe give her a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
Make her
At
the
least.
full-on head coach for at least a
At
year.
least. Yeah.
And I think if we get into the playoffs, regardless of the situation, maybe we get knocked out the first round. But if we make the playoffs, boom, give her a multi-year contract. Give her 2, give her 3-year contract just to say, look, you're building something great.
Yeah, exactly.
The players respect you. The players are behind you. We're going to be behind you. Let's work together. And ACFC, being the young club that they are, there's growing pains. We got to learn, right? And the only way to learn is you make the mistake. I think you learn. Hopefully, this just means great things about this. And I love tremendous tweet. I like that.
I sat there in writing these notes and I was like, what's a good word that starts with a T? Like, I thought about this for a long time, so I'm really glad you like it.
Yes. I'm going to hashtag it. It's going to be a hashtag now.
Nice. Tremendous tweet. Alrighty. So players to watch. Yes, there's a lot of people missing, but there are still a lot of great players on the pitch. I'm curious and excited to see what, honestly, all of our forwards and attacking midfielders do over the next couple games. And it kind of goes without saying for every team in the NWSL, because a lot of teams are missing their lead scorers, their lead midfielders. Like we said, their heavy hitters are all on their national teams, regardless of country. So everyone is looking to capitalize on those gaps. So yes, there's replacement players. Yes, there's backups that could easily be a starting player on another team or in another league or what have you. But no matter what, like, I'm so curious to see what's going to happen this season, given the fact that so many people are away at the World Cup. To spotlight an ACFC player, I'm realizing I'm running out of players to talk about. So we might just dial down ACFC players to 1 or 2 per episode. I wanted to talk about Dani Weatherholt. She is honestly probably one of the nicest players in the NWSL. If somebody hurts Dani, I'll just be devastated. She's from San Diego, San Clemente, and she is a stalwart of the league. She's played on a couple different teams, but was at the Pride for a while. We acquired her during the fire sale, aka the expansion draft, and the gutting of Orlando in 2022. She has made an impact on the field and in the community. For every team that she's played on, she's still in touch with some youth community members that she met through her community work, I believe, in Orlando. And it's very much like visiting kids in hospitals, being there for families, and staying in touch with them even after she's left. When we were playing in Orlando last season, that family showed up at the game, very connected communities that she's touched. And it just shows she's a leader on the field. She's co-captain this year with Cap, Allie Riley. Her name is Cap in my head. She's my captain. The way I cried during the opening New Zealand game. But anyway, Dani Weatherholt, she's going to be the leading force, the veteran force of our midfield while JJ's away. So I'm excited to see what she pulls out. Savannah McCaskill and her have been the duo that's been constant in the midfield over the last 2 years. Dani will be in the midfield, making great passes, making great plays, breaking up offense from Portland. So I'm excited. I love watching her play. She's like a gazelle. She's tall. And she's just dude.
Like a gazelle. I like it.
Yeah,
okay.
She's so graceful, but then she'll just jump for a header and body somebody into the ground. It's wild. After the San Diego game in San Diego, the regular season game, she posted on Instagram, "Gotta love rivalry weekend." It had scratches all over her face.
Yeah.
We talked about it here on the podcast. We were don't do that to Dani.
Yeah, all right. So looking on the field, Dani is a midfielder, number
17.
Number 17. All right. Yep. So if you're keeping an eye on all of
she'll
these,
most likely have the captain's armband as well. So she'll probably be easy to find. It'll probably be either her or Jasmine Spencer with Allie Riley's absence. So easier to find.
Nice.
Yeah. So for Portland, I want to talk about 3 different players. Sam Coffey is the first one. She was in the running for last season's Rookie of the Year, which says a whole bunch. She's been up and down on the U.S. national team. I'm assuming she's going to be on a little bit of a revenge tour, given the fact that she did not make the World Cup roster. There's a little bit of a controversy. I understand the decision. I also don't. It's one of those like, okay, but that's a choice. But I think, so far, US has only played 1 game. I think we're doing all right. We're going to be okay. But I'm curious to see how Sam really steps up for Portland while everybody else is gone and what kind of difference she makes. I'm hoping for Angel City's sake, not much. That's just me being selfish and wanting to win. But yeah, she's a scoring threat. She's a defensive threat. She's just everything. And a great player all around. So don't be surprised if you see her called up sooner rather than later with the national team again after the World Cup or in the future in general. She's young. She's a great player. Her name is in the mix for different things. Bella Bixby, the goalkeeper for Portland. You may remember she scored against us in the last millisecond of the game. No, I don't want to talk about it. Good for her.
No,
stop it. Interesting thing, Bella, she's a fantastic keeper and really pushing the game forward, but also being a total homer. She's from Oregon, went to school at Oregon State, very much a hometown kid playing in not necessarily her home city because it's not Portland, but still very much an Oregonian.
Mm-hmm.
And a really interesting thing is she's actually actively trying to push the league along with a bunch of fans, which I have also signed a petition because I don't like the light shows at a lot of stadiums. I end up with a headache most of the time. But Bella is actively trying to push the NWSL to force the end of light shows in certain stadiums after a team scores because they're negatively impacting fans and players who are neurodivergent, her included. So it's a really big push right now to make the NWSL even more inclusive. ACFC does a lot to accommodate everyone in multiple ways, this being one of them. But I think it's Louisville and there's another team I can't think of, but they have these crazy light shows that happen after a goal is scored. So it goes from being a normal 7:30, let's say, game.
Yeah, all the lights just start kind of going.
Yeah, they start going
big
on
round,
and
strobing
off,
and stuff like that.
And it's not great for folks on the spectrum, folks with sensory processing disorders, anything at all. So it's one of those where this is a place that we are totally encouraging people to make as inclusive as possible, and this is part of it. So yeah, Bella Bixby is a big proponent of no light shows in stadiums, and I agree. We shouldn't have things in stadiums that negatively impact fans or players, just in general. And if that's one of them, yeah, they're cool for some people, but not for others. And I think there's other ways to show celebration with
I'm
physical displays.
I'm totally for it. I'm not one who would be sensitive to light shows, but I do understand that. And especially as a player, if you get scored on, really, because it would happen at the away stadiums, right? If you get scored on and all of a sudden the lights start flickering, that's just going to affect the rest of your game.
Yeah.
And if as a team you're doing that, knowing what it is, you're just being the asshole, right? You're just being this is my advantage, but it's no. Just
that's not a good advantage to have.
Does it take away from the experience for me by not having a light show? No. Why would I be against not having the light show? Taking it away would not take away the experience,
right,
of what just happened or the feeling in the stadium. Everybody's going to be happy. Everybody's going to be yelling. There's probably going to be music blaring. I don't think you can really do much about
Yeah,
music
the loud
cues and
noises
stuff
as
like that.
much as
But it's a stadium. It's going to be loud.
exactly.
But yes, strobing lights, come on. And I want to say maybe we haven't been doing that. I don't know 100% just because, again, I am not like sensitive to that.
I
So it's
don't
not something I would notice.
I don't think so. I don't
Well, it's
think
great. Great
yeah,
for us.
no, I don't believe so.
So, I mean, all of that just leads to Bella, that's amazing. Keep fighting for it. Hopefully the NWSL makes it a thing. But also stop scoring against us. You're the goalie. Like, don't.
Go
Like,
back
you
to
have
your yeah, you have no
stay in
business
your
being
net.
on that side of the pitch. Stay over
There's no
there.
reason. There's no reason for you to be there.
Definitely. And then
You're
last
not
but
allowed to touch the ball with your hands in that side, so don't go over there.
the worst part is a little back heel, like a little pink. Like, we're not talking about
Okay.
it.
All right.
You
Let's
can
move.
watch
Let's
if
move.
you
Yeah.
want to see the goal. You can look it up online. It exists.
Okay. So
Um,
goalkeeper number 1. All right.
yes. And then Morgan Weaver is one of the forwards for Portland. She was the second overall pick in the 2020 draft and has just been doing great since then. Being on a team like Portland, there's a lot of people you have to get through to get on the pitch. But in 2022, so last season, she scored 7 goals, which is a lot. Savannah McCaskill scored 7 goals for us last season. So that's easily on a team like Portland. We have like Sophia Smith and Sink and like these amazing goal scoring machines. It might not seem like a lot in
To be able to
the
carve out that much
yeah,
with that stacked of a roster.
exactly. And it's she only scored 7. It's like 7 goals is a lot. Is a lot in soccer. So, Portland's going to be looking to score without their heavy hitters. So look for Sam Coffey at number 17 and Morgan Weaver at number 22. Like just being in the right place at the right time. We're trying to be. Hopefully our defense will break them up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Well, that's who you should be looking out for as far as who's on the pitch, especially with all those notable players down under. But history-wise, between the teams, we are down to our last 2 matches of the Challenge Cup. So our history with them this year so far, which means we've lost. We lost. That's the one. That's the goal. That's the goal we don't want to talk about. So
yep.
Yes.
We lost by 1.
And pre-Becky. Yes, that is correct. That is pre-Becky.
Yeah, it was pre-Becky. That was a game where we played fantastic. We got on the board. They equalized. We went up again. They equalized again. And then in the last remaining seconds of the game, Miss Bella Bixby left her goal and came all the way across the pitch to just like dink in a little ball.
I do know we had a pretty good amount of traveling support at that game. There was some different, a lot of the different SGs had representation up at that match. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing a lot of pictures about it. Maybe next year we get to join them or something.
Oh yeah, we'll have to figure out an away game to go to next season.
Yeah, I think that'll be really fun. And then last year's Challenge Cup, we were split.
Exactly. So ideally, we win this weekend and we split again.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's our history in the Challenge Cup. So
yeah,
hopefully we do the same thing.
All right. So just a quick reminder, this match is going to be taking place on Saturday, July 29th.
Part of the Ultra 4 matches, 20 plus hours of football day.
Yeah, definitely check out the Ultra if you're interested in hanging out with a bunch of ACFC fans watching soccer all night. I wish I could be there. I think you do too. Like, it's one of those where in my heart of hearts, I'm there, like 100%. Yes. But in the real life responsibility of it all, I am not. But the game will be played at BMO. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. I'm sure there will be some kind of something going on before the game. They haven't really posted too much about it because it's been a big push on World Cup events. The game will be streamed on Paramount here in the U.S. for any international fans, nwslsoccer.com, and on iHeartRadio if you are in the car or doing something where you're not around a TV or the internet. feel free to check it out.
Yep. And as always, we're on all the pod platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Pod, Overcast,
All the boxes.
this one, and that one. All the boxes. I checked every single one. There's a bunch that I didn't even know existed, but we're on there. So you can find us wherever you want. You can share the pod with people from any one of those platforms that you want. And if you need a link to all of those, just go to casualfc.com. We've got our nice little website with all the episodes live there that you can stream directly on the website, or you can click on your favorite platform and go follow us there. We also, on all socials, we're keeping it consistent as possible. Casual FC Pod, P-O-D, on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. We're also on Threads now. Everybody jumped on this whole bandwagon while we were on this kind of World Cup break, but we're on there too. So go ahead, follow us on all those socials. We have been posting World Cup times for the Pacific. We've been posting results. We've been just any kind of news and notes we can find, any watch parties, all of that stuff. You can find it.
If you know of any watch parties coming up or any organizations hosting watch parties, send them our way. We want people there. I'll tell everyone to get the TVs turned on in bars, restaurants, what have you. So let's do it.
Watch parties in LA are a very unique thing in that LA is huge. So yes, Angel City has watch parties. We will be posting about those official watch parties wherever they're holding them. They're doing a great job spreading it around, going to different bars. There was a watch party in Hawthorne. There's been one in Silver Lake. There's been one in Culver City. They're going everywhere.
Thousand Oaks, they're trying to get everything, every corner of the city. Yeah.
But ACFC is not the only people holding watch parties. We have the LA Soccer Club out here in the Valley. They're also holding watch parties for various games, and we've been posting all about theirs. There's a couple of places down in the OC that have been having watch parties for some of the earlier matches that we've been posting about also. So really, if you know of one, let us know. We'll share it. We'll boost it any way we can. We'd just love to get people to go out there and watch more soccer. We're also on YouTube. We're not on video. But if you like to listen to things on YouTube, we're there.
We might be on video one day.
One day. But we do post all our episodes there, so you can go watch them on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit the like button, do all that good stuff. Help us out with one of these. Share the pod with a friend. You've listened to us this far. You probably like what we're saying. They probably will like it too. Leave a comment or leave a review. And also hit that subscribe button. I think all of those things help us in the small little ways that they can. Do one, do all, do none. It's
all up to
all
you.
Good.
But we appreciate all of it.
But thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you probably on the World Cup episodes.
Yeah, definitely. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.